Most people die at 25 but aren't buried until 75. I'm 78 years old. And for 62 of those years, I was one of them. Everyone tells you to follow your dreams, chase your passion, live authentically. They're lying to you, not because dreams don't matter, but because while you're waiting for the perfect moment to start living, your actual life is slipping through your fingers like sand. And unlike sand, you don't get more. But before I tell you what happened on a Tuesday morning in March that changed everything, you need to understand something about fear. Fear doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock on your door and say, "Hello, I'm here to run your life now." It moves in quietly. It speaks in your mother's voice, your father's, your teacher's. It wears the face of responsibility, practicality, common sense. And by the time you realize you've been living someone else's life, you're 57 years old, sitting in a doctor's office, and the walls are beige. I'm not here to tell you I have all the answers. I don't. I'm here because I wasted decades, and if this reaches even one person before they do the same, then maybe those decades were entirely wasted. Maybe they become the tuition for someone else's freedom. I need you to do something for me. If this resonates, leave a comment. Just one word. Listening. That's all. Because I need to know I'm not shouting into the void. And you need to know you're not alone in this. Time is the cruelest teacher. It gives the test first, the lesson afterward. And most of us fail the test because we believe the biggest lie ever told. From the outside, my life looked fine. Good job, nice house, family. I showed up. I paid bills. I did what was expected. Every single day, I woke up at 6:15. Coffee at 6:30. Out the door by 7:10. The same route to work. The same parking spot. The same desk. The same lunch. The same drive home. The same evening. The same weekend. The same year. Again and again and again. Inside, I was hollow. Not depressed, exactly. Just absent. Like I was watching my life happen to someone else through a window. I'd sit at dinner and my wife would talk and I'd nod, and I'd have no idea what she'd just said. I was there, but I wasn't present. I was a ghost haunting my own existence. I wasn't living. I was going through the motions. And the terrifying part? I didn't even know it. March 14th, a Tuesday. 7:43 in the morning. I'm in my car, stopped at the same red light I'd stopped at 1,000 times before. The radio is playing something forgettable, and I look to my right. There's a coffee shop. Through the window, I see a young woman, maybe 22, 23. She's laughing, really laughing. Her head thrown back, hand on the table, eyes crinkled shut. I don't know what's funny. I don't know who she's with, but I can see it. Joy, unfiltered, unself-conscious, alive. And something in my chest cracked. Because I couldn't remember the last time I'd laughed like that. Not smiled politely. Not chuckled at something appropriate. Laughed. Felt something so fully that my body couldn't contain it. The light turned green. I didn't move. The car behind me honked. I pulled over. I sat in the pharmacy parking lot for 20 minutes, hands shaking, and I thought, when did I stop? The biggest lie you tell yourself is simple. 3 words. You say them every day without even noticing. They feel responsible, practical, safe, but they're killing you faster than any disease. I have time. I have time to travel after I retire. I have time to write that book after the kids grow up. I have time to reconnect with old friends after this busy season ends. I have time to learn guitar, to paint, to dance, to say what I really feel. I have time to become who I actually am. I have time to live. Later. Soon. Someday. You don't. Do you know what you're actually saying when you say, I have time? You're saying your real life can wait. That the person you're meant to be can stay locked away while you play it safe. That this moment, right now, isn't good enough to matter. That you'll start living when conditions are perfect. When you're ready. When it's convenient. When has it ever been convenient to be brave? Let me tell you about Michael. I worked with him for 11 years. Good man. Brilliant, actually. He wanted to be a photographer, not as a hobby, as a life. He'd show me his work sometimes. Stunning. He had an eye for light, for the spaces between things. But photography didn't pay the bills. So he stayed. Marketing director, corner office. He had time. He had a plan. 5 more years, he'd say. Build the savings, then make the jump. 5 more years. He died on a Wednesday. 49 years old. Heart attack in the parking garage. They found his camera in his car. Memory card full of photos he'd never shown anyone. At his funeral, his daughter, maybe 16, stood up. She said, "My dad was going to teach me photography this summer. He promised. He said we had time." Nobody tells you that someday is a place you never arrive. You want to know what I regret? Here it is. Every single piece of it. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes. I regret the morning I didn't get up early to watch the sunrise because I was tired. I regret the conversation I didn't have with my father because I was uncomfortable. He died 3 weeks later. We never talked about what mattered. I regret the manuscript I kept in a drawer for 8 years because I was afraid of what people would think. I regret the trip to Ireland I postponed 6 times because work was busy. I'm 88 now. I'm not going to Ireland. I regret the apology I didn't give because my pride was too loud. I regret the thank you I never said to my high school teacher, who believed in me when no one else did. I found out she died. I was too late. I regret the guitar I bought and never learned to play. It's still in the closet. I regret the dance lessons my wife wanted us to take. I said we'd do it next year. We never did. She died 4 years ago. I'd give anything to stumble through one clumsy waltz with her now. I regret every time I said, "I'm too busy," when what I really meant was, "I'm too afraid." I regret the smallness I chose, the safety, the comfort of being less than I could be because being more required risk. And here's the worst part. None of these are big things. They're not climbing Everest. They're not curing cancer. They're sunrise, conversation, music, movement, truth. Small, ordinary, human things. And I missed them. I had 1,000 chances. And I missed them because I thought I had time. You think you do too. You're wrong. So what actually changes things? Not someday, today, right now. And it's simpler than you think. Smaller, more human. You start by noticing. When you're eating, eat, taste it. When you're talking to someone, be there, not on your phone. Not planning your response. There. When you feel something, let yourself feel it. Stop narrating your life and start living it. You make one small choice toward who you actually are. Not who you should be, who you are. Maybe that's saying no to something everyone expects you to say yes to. Maybe it's saying yes to something that scares you. Maybe it's 10 minutes in the morning to sit in silence and remember what you actually want. You stop waiting for permission from your parents, your partner, your boss, society. You're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to want what you want. No one's coming. You have to give yourself permission. You ask the uncomfortable questions. What do I actually care about? What would I do if I weren't afraid? What am I pretending not to know? The answers will scare you. Good. Fear means you're close to something real. You protect your time like it's your life, because it is. You stop saying yes to things that drain you just because it's easier than saying no. You create space for what matters, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, even if people don't understand. You take one step, not the whole staircase. One step. Call that friend. Write one page. Book the ticket. Have the conversation. Sign up for the class. One step, and then another, and then another. Not because you have a plan. Because you're alive, and alive things move. This doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow. It doesn't mean abandon responsibility. It means stop using responsibility as a cage. You can be responsible and alive. You can pay your bills and pursue what matters. You can be a good parent, a good partner, a good person, and still claim your own life. They're not opposites. They never were. The darkness doesn't disappear. But it loses its power when you stop hiding from it. When you stop pretending you're fine when you're not. When you stop performing a life and start living one. Every moment you're alive is a chance to choose again. Not perfectly, not fearlessly, but honestly. To stop sleepwalking. To stop letting other people's voices drown out your own. To stop waiting for someday and start showing up for today. Here's what I know at 78 that I wish I'd known at 28. Your life will not wait for you to be ready. It's happening now. This moment, while you're reading this, is your life. Not a rehearsal. Not a placeholder until the real thing starts. This is it, and you can spend it afraid, or you can spend it alive. Those are your options. I wasted 62 years. You don't have to, but you have to decide. Today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not after you finish this project. Lose that weight, save that money, feel more confident. Today, because I have time is the lie that will haunt you when you're 78, looking back, wishing you'd been braver. If you're still here, thank you. Leave that comment. Listening. Let me know this mattered. And then go do one thing today that your future self will thank you for. One conversation. One choice. One step toward the person you're meant to be. Your life is 90 seconds from changing, but only if you let it. What are you waiting for?